we are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
Hey everybody, welcome to Meanwhile Back at the Lab with Paximus. How are you everyone? It's good to see you. So thank you so much for being here, whether it's the morning, afternoon, or evening. I'm really glad you're here. I'm excited. This is going to be great. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pumped. It's funny, every time I do these interviews, I get like really nervous right beforehand. I don't know if that comes across like to you guys, but what I get so excited about is getting to know these people. That's really what I'm all about. I love to get to know people, and I'm so glad you guys are here. For those mods that are here, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Q, for being here, and Study with Sabrina, thank you so much for being here. I see a lot of new people, and I'm really grateful that you guys took the time to be here. Jean Burke and Crash Hermit. Crash Hermit is another Study With Me YouTuber that we did a collaboration with a little bit ago. But hey guys, let's go ahead and just get straight into it. We are here to have a nice conversation with a good guy. I went into his Study With Me stream probably, so it's actually been a while now. I think it's been probably about 3 months that I've been following his Study With Me stream. So when I'm not doing any streaming, I actually end up going to his stream because it's just so chill, and the community that he has is wonderful. They're really great people. But hey, we are here to talk with none other than Justxn. And Justxn, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us and just giving us a chance to get to know you a little bit.
Hey, can you guys hear me? Hello?
Oh, there we go.
Okay, thank you, Paximus. It's great to be on your channel. I'm excited. I love the energy here. Thank you for hosting.
Yeah, absolutely. And just want to give a quick shout out to some people like just throughout the chat, right? I don't know, Justxn, if you're checking out the chat, but there's Mira, there's Amal, there's QNVK, Crash Hermit. Welcome everybody.
Look at all that talk.
Cakes of the Way. Aditya, Miss Monet, I believe is, I could be wrong. Ken, thank you, Ken, for being here. Um, Man, there's just a lot of people just hanging out with us. So, and I'm gonna go further down the list. Karen, Scooby Life, Jamea. I think I'm saying that right, right? um, Hard worker. Thank you guys so much for being here. Just so that you're aware, okay, we are going to have a Q&A with Justin towards the end of our conversation. I'll be asking just a few questions, and then you'll have an opportunity to ask questions yourself. So if you do have any questions for Justin, go ahead and put it into the chat, and my mods will actually get those questions to me, so that at the end we'll be able to have a Q&A with Justin. So Justin, man, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to be here. I really do appreciate it, and also just as a a thank you to you and to your community, because I remember when I went into your community, like it was just a very laid back, chill type of environment, very lo-fi at the time. I think it was lo-fi, and then you played some fire, so it was kind of nice to be part of that community. So I want to welcome you, and I'm really thankful that you're able to hang out with us.
Yeah, Paximus, thank you for joining, for hosting. I'm really excited to be here. And I think I started, yeah, about 3 months ago, and that's actually when you came into my stream, surprised me with believe it was one of my first biggest super chats. That was crazy. So I just want to thank you again for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, really excited to be here. Really excited to meet everybody here. Oh, I see a lot of tacos. Well, thank you
Yeah,
guys.
that's right. That's awesome. And so Justin, you know what? If you can do me a huge favor, just if you can tell us a little bit about you for those people who may be listening to this, because it will be a podcast for audio, not just YouTube. But for those people who might be like replaying this, watching, or listening to this later, could you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and why you got started into YouTube?
Yeah, yeah. All right. So again, my name is Justin, 23. Recently turned 23 actually, and study computer science at UCSC. So this is my last year. I
Hmm.
started study with these streams just really for fun, really for fun. Um, I think my first time, I remember I was just playing with the technology. I was seeing, hey, what is the lane? Like a while ago, I streamed a little bit. It was kind of, the quality was pretty bad,
Mm.
but fast forward now, um, quality is really like streams on YouTube, very quick, relatively low latency, and I
Mm.
explored a little bit on Twitch. Man, I love the technology. It's crazy, and so I think just after playing with it, I slowly became more acquainted to how streaming works, and got a little bit more comfortable as I started streaming day to day. Um, and then I started really just looking to study with these streams. I think I was spending a lot of time working.
Mm.
I was spending a lot of time working, spending a lot of time building apps, coding, learning just new technology, new skills. And so I just thought maybe I should do like a study with me stream. Did a little bit of that, and I started to form a small community, a small but really strong community. And I was really surprised at how quickly I was able to really form something so special, really. And so I put a lot of thought into it. I really started thinking, maybe I can provide a lot of value here.
Mm.
There's a lot of people who have trouble working, who have trouble well looking for motivation, especially during this pandemic.
Yeah.
It's definitely a little hard, even for me, to get back on schedule. Um, I remember pre-COVID, I would hit the gym at 5, go to class, and then go on a run. Like that's what I would do. That's I had to check those off. Now we can't really do that, and yeah, feeling like I'm shrinking a little. Um,
So was that a
yeah,
usual thing going to the gym? Like, what is it, Monday through Friday type of thing, or was it
Monday
every
through
day?
Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
Every single day, just so
Hmm.
that I get that momentum going.
Yeah.
If I take a break, I know rest days are very important. Just rest at the gym. I just lay off on certain muscles,
Mm.
um, just so that they can recover. But it's just that so I can have that build that habit, and that is very important for me because I know myself pretty well. Like when I stop doing something, it takes me a while to get back on.
Mm.
And I think that's an issue with a lot of people.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but they don't realize it, right? And um, you would hear that, like, say, for example, when the gym, like, people want to take rest days each day, and so people do, and I would encourage that. But however, you'd still want to keep that habit going. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I think that's something I follow pretty strictly.
And I'm kind of curious. But most people within the study with me community, like, they they found someone that they were able to kind of gravitate towards to help them kind of get motivated. I'm kind of curious for you. Do you remember the time that you kind of discovered study with me streams, and like who it was that kind of piqued your interest, and you're like, I wonder if I could do something similar or maybe a different approach. Do you remember anybody who comes to mind?
It's gonna be James Schultz.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I didn't even know Study With Me videos or streams existed.
Mm.
Watching him study, I was like, wait a second, what am I doing? That was my initial reaction. Like I wasn't, but it really opened my eyes. Like, and then seeing like so many people studying with him, I'm like, what is going on here? Is this like a thing?
Is
So
this real?
actually, so that was one of his videos, but I spent can't recall his name. He did a raid on me once. If you guys can
Oh,
remember in
really?
the chat, yeah, he did a raid on me when I was really small. Like real, I mean, really small now, but when I was really small. If anybody in the chat remembers, he's a YouTuber that raided me way back like 2 months ago. But yeah, he he had a pretty good community going on too,
Mm-hmm.
and so that really got me thinking like, wow, this is really cool, and might as well do something like this since I'm working and spending pretty much my days studying,
Mm-hmm.
getting things done, and I'm playing around with streaming and
Mm-hmm.
like trying to make some video footage on my own time. So I think all of that, just the timing right now because of COVID, everything is just really perfect for me. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm the Scooby Life. You said my mic was a little low. Is it still too low? Is everybody able to hear me? Okay. I just want to double check on that. Justin, I think you can hear me fine, but I wonder if the output is too low. Anyways, okay. Well, it seems like people can hear me, so that it should be fine. So for a lot of people have been kind of referencing to James, being kind of the big one who he just kind of went off. I actually remember you did a small raid on mine. That was actually really nice, and I was like, I don't know what to do or say. It was kind of unexpected, and I was like, wow, thanks, Justin. Man, that was very kind of you. So I appreciate that. Do you feel like that part of him doing that for you was like paying it forward, helping you, and maybe bringing the community, closer together? Do you feel like that's something that he was trying to accomplish?
When I had no clue what that was. He said hi. He said like he had a whole bunch of people come towards my channel, but
Mm.
at the time when I was first streaming, I was like, what is going on? Is my channel being attacked? Why is there so many people? And I guess that was the first time ever like experiencing like the streaming sort of like stream culture maybe,
Right.
because in Twitch there's something similar like where you would raid people as well. So Yeah, but then the reason why I do it now, it's really because like it's fun. It's really fun. Like you get the I remember that I was like really surprised and to see be able to see like other people have that look on face. So I'm like, oh man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so just so that we can kind of transition a little bit into, because we do talk about studying and studying methods, study research tips and things like that, and strategies. I'm kind of curious, this being kind of like your last year, what have you learned being in university so far, but also being involved in the Study With Me stream? Are there certain approaches you take to getting your work done and then telling people like, hey, this is just my approach, this is what I do? Are what are your strategies or thoughts on studying in general?
Yeah, so prior to going to college, prior to attending UCSC, um I've always been a really bad student.
Mm,
And so I started to really take things seriously, more
mm-hmm,
seriously, trying to really develop some type of system to get myself uh, just crossing things off the list, making sure nothing gets dropped.
right.
And so one very important skill that I had to adopt is just being able to plan and make sure that what I have in store is flexible, just in case if anything happens. And so I've since built Notion pages, Google Sheets, and all of those help me with planning.
Mm,
And once you plan, right, you stick with the plan, of course. And when you can do that, then you find yourself having much more time.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm kind of curious as well for you. I get asked this question on my live stream, and I've seen other, study with me streamers get asked multiple times, like, why do you do certain amount of hours? Like, do you feel like that is such a redundant question? It just gets asked over and over, and people just kind of ask it just to ask it now, or do you feel like people actually now know that there's a reason and rhyme to studying a certain amount of hours, or just to try and get things done? Like, what's your thoughts on that, and the approach of how many hours or things like that?
Okay. Yeah. So my I do a 50-10, and it's really just to see how much you can get done in 50 minutes, right? Um, I am actually looking into a 60-10. However, it's a little weird, especially when I schedule it.
Mm,
So I don't like how it looks, but that's why I keep it at 50-10, just because it fits my schedule, and two, because I can gauge my performance. Um, it's very important where like I would stream really early in the morning, and I know that uh, for my first session, I would not be able to get work done.
mm,
So what I would do is just plan. Like this is the time to plan. This is the time to really um, come up with a strategy for the day.
mm-hmm,
And at the end of the day, you take a look at what you've accomplished and what you've decided that you wanted to accomplish. And yeah, you take a look at that and you see how many things that you crossed off on the list, and you try to assess yourself from there. See
yeah.
if what you could have done better. So yeah, that's what I do.
Now, I'm kind of curious as well to know, like, how, in your experience of being a YouTuber, and I've seen you grow exponentially, like within the last 3 months, and it's kind of cool to see. But at the same time, there is, that those hits that you get, and I don't know if you know what I mean, but like trolls. There's people out there who maliciously try and do something to disturb the Study With Me stream. Have you encountered that a lot? Is that something that has kind of like your past now, or is that still ongoing? What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, that. So yeah, for those who don't know, my channel has been I would say it's been disturbed a few times by people who, one, they spam my channel a lot, and these are not spamming with like good positive vibes. These are just really like dirty things that people would say. Two, people would impersonate my account and actually try to go to other streamers and start saying like spewing out profanity to other streamers, right? And then impersonating me, that can be really dangerous.
Wow.
And so yeah, those two things are I was very worried for sure.
Hmm.
And like not even in terms of the growth of the channel, just for just like personal safety, like that is strange. Two,
Yeah.
yeah, I think in terms of growth, then it definitely stunted my growth, but I knew like uh, that's not something I'm really like, that's not something I value right now.
Hmm.
What I value right now is just protecting this community
For sure.
and just making sure that my everything's locked down, nothing is you know um, out of the ordinary.
Hmm.
And so I've always like I knew it's gonna blow over, so I wasn't super stressed out about it, but it was definitely like a very um it wasn't too, yeah, I wasn't too happy about it at all.
What do you think about, like when people go to study with me streams, it's sometimes it's about the aesthetic, it's about the person itself, and there's so many factors, I guess, that of why people subscribe to channels. And for you, there you talking about a little bit of safety. Do you have any like monitor that is open so that people are seeing it, or is it always like where it's out of view type of thing? And has it ever changed? Did you have it one way a certain month or so, and then you changed it because of those security issues?
So did I have a monitor, like a screen monitor?
Yeah, like any information like that you're working on and that could potentially be exposed. So how there's some people
I
who
see.
work on their computer and they show their computer screen. So is that something that you do or did, and did you change it, or have you kept it all the same for security purposes?
Okay, okay. Yeah, so I've never shown my computer screen. Like I never intended to. However, when I do, I know what's on my screen. Um, I'm very paranoid about security, so everything's pretty much locked down for me.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, totally. And with computer science, because that's what you're majoring in, correct?
Mhm.
So with computer science, like what possibilities were you looking for in terms of your career? And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've also built your own business. Is that correct?
Yep. So that's cool. Two questions.
Mm-hmm.
First question, computer science. Where do I plan on, or what do I plan on doing with it?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. So I'm really into machine learning. I really enjoy that aspect of computer science. Um, so I really like that's a skill that I'm building right now.
Mm-hmm.
Along with I have knowledge in building webs. I started very young, so that's something I'm really passionate about too. Um, and I think when I started building websites, really try to learn like how websites like like Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
websites like Yelp, apps like Facebook and Google, how they're built. And so I looked into the back end, really trying to just understand their infrastructure, how they build out such things that are so like incredibly scalable, so that millions of billions of people can use it without you know um, any interruption or
Mm-hmm.
minimal interruption. And so that's something that I'm really passionate about. So I've been learning about like cloud computing, specifically on AWS, Amazon Web Services,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, just strengthening my skills for there. Just you know, uh, prepare for a job as
Yeah.
well.
Right.
And in terms of my business, yeah, I started that. I'd say a little bit over a year ago now,
Mm-hmm.
and I I just took what I learned with computer science, took what I learned programming, build my own website for this, and just try to make sure that like, hey, this is a business model that I want to follow,
Mm-hmm.
and how do I implement this with what I know, and what
Right.
skills do I need to attain and build to get there. And yeah, this business, it's fairly new. It's a wholesale model,
Mm-hmm.
and I basically partner up with brands, and we actually just move products. And it's been really cool, really like eye opening, because I've learned so much in the past. When I started, it was before the summer, so in past 3 months, that's when I really started.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think I really think that it's not something that school teaches you either. And so like because of that, I was so dedicated towards it, and I just
Right.
spent many days burning the midnight oil for sure, just trying to learn about the industry and how things work in
Mm-hmm.
terms of like selling things.
And do you have any so any future plans kind of in the works, maybe things that you've been working on, some ideas that you've been trying to think of for your channel, specifically for your community, and just the maybe even in general, just like your YouTube channel? Is there something that you've been working on that you're trying to, maybe push, for?
Something that I'm working on. Oh yeah, I have so uh, many ideas, and I've filtered them out and
Mm,
by priority. What's going to give out the most impact, and what's going to take the least time to do.
mm,
So one of my latest applications, it's actually just a very easy way to. So I found an annoyance to have to always type your forced code.
okay.
And so for those who use Forest, it's a like concentration app. And
Right.
for those who want to join a Forest room, you'd have to type a 7-digit code. And since you're going to be running like what 7, 8 Pomodoro sessions,
Hmm.
you do that 7 times, once every hour, right?
Right.
And so I was like, okay, let me just help you guys here. I wouldn't want to type this myself, and I just
Right.
made it so that it's a click of a button
Yeah.
for you guys to join a Forest room. And so I'm planning to scale that just for fun. Um, but yeah, I think that's one of the latest toys that I've made.
Well, and I actually have seen that in action. That works wonders versus having to like type the thing in. That's it's kind of an annoyance. So I think you even doing that, helping, move that along is definitely helpful. So there was another thing that I wanted to mention, but just as a reminder for those of you who are in the chat, if you have a question for Justin that you want to ask, we are going to have a Q&A session right now. So I actually do have, I think, one or two questions that we can kind of rock with right here. So again, if you do have questions, please feel free to put it in the chat. One of my mods will actually send it over to me. Okay, so this question is from is it Jamia? I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but how long do you think you could study for without the stream? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Let me say that one more time. How long do you think you can study for without the stream, shorter or longer? Okay, so I was right.
Sorry, you're lagging a little bit. I can't really hear you. Could you repeat that?
Sure. The question was, how long do you think you can study for without the stream, shorter or longer?
Yeah, I would say much longer, much longer. I think one weakness of mine is that I sort of like just hyper focus. I don't take breaks, and it tends to just wear my eyes out, and I lose track of time for sure. So yeah, I definitely can study so super long, um, especially if you like take an energy drink. You're like, oh, off the days.
Yeah, and like I wonder if you should get like a spotter, like if if you're at the gym and you're like, exercising and stuff, you should get a spotter visually so that you could just see like, oh, I need to take a break because you're so hyper focused. And I understand what you're saying, it's like But that's probably what is motivating about being in your live stream is just people are seeing, wow, he's working, he's doing his thing, and it does influence people in a good way. I think it helps people want to stay focused, stay on task, stay the course, stay with the plan, the checklist, whatever it is that they have to do, um and let's see, do we have any more questions that were coming in for Justin? Because I don't see them. Oh, okay, they're here. How do you balance your time between work and personal life? And that's from Delilah.
Okay, yeah. How do I balance my time between work and personal life? I don't. I try to make it as balanced as possible, but really, it's not easy.
Mm,
Um, so I think one is just being able to schedule yourself. Like this is how much time I'll be working, and I'm the type of person that I really can't like work and then fall asleep because I feel bad. I just need like, hey, I'm working all day. I definitely need like a break, or I need to do something that's a little bit more like satisfying, you know?
yeah.
So it's like your own time, like a personal time. And sleeping, I love sleeping, but I don't count that. If I were to go to bed, just going to bed, and I would not be able to sleep. So I'd
Mm,
have to like do something sort of like so I would sacrifice sleep and I would do like maybe play some games with some friends or go to the gym, go on a run, cook, meal prep. Let's see, or like even just I write in my journal a lot. So I've been recently,
mm.
I've had writing in my journal a whole lot more, and I actually wrote in this maybe 5 years ago, all about like about the things that I really want to get accomplished, and it's coming to fruition like
Wow.
this past year. So I'm like this book, everything I read in this book, it's like coming true. It's a dream book.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, so that's the thing here. So that's where I write everything down, and I think ever since I started journaling a little bit more, it's been very helpful in helping me collect my thoughts,
yeah.
helping me with um, being just emotionally stable too. I think
Mm,
that's a thing that a lot of people are having trouble maintaining throughout this pandemic.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
Well, I'm curious to ask just as a little bit of a tangent, but to kind of tag on that. When you started, excuse me, when you started with this study stream, were you in a place where, and this is perhaps a little bit more deeper, but were you in a place where you felt like you needed an outlet and then found something like this, or did you feel okay and it was a natural kind of progression and inclination to, hey, I think I'll keep doing this with a YouTube thing. Writing
I
in
see.
like writing in your journal, was that an outlet for you
I
from the
think
get-go?
writing my journals more so just so that I can really reflect on myself. And every time I reflect on myself, that's how I assess how I'm doing in life and how I can get better. I think that's the mindset that I have for the past couple, really for the past like year, actually, I'd say.
Mm,
Um, yeah, what am I doing wrong here, and how can I get better? That's the two questions that I ask myself. Just because like I felt like there was a time that I didn't really progress in my I'd say my time in college. I
mm-hmm.
just felt like I was at a plateau in terms of my skills, the way I thought, um, and even just like yeah, like just yeah, skills in general, really.
Yeah.
Um,
Another. Oh, sorry.
well,
Keep going.
so you had a second question, right? Was it what was that again?
Oh, it was just about the journal because I found, like, for me personally, I found writing in a journal just, I mean, it does help a lot. You're able to get a lot of thoughts out. And I wonder, like, is that something that you are going to continue doing? Because especially hearing, the good things that you wrote about what you said 5 years ago and seeing it come to fruition, like, I mean, is that something that you're just like, yeah, I'm going to keep, going with the journal thing? Or have you found another thing that helps you decompress and maybe feel emotionally and mentally stable.
I see. Yeah, journal thing is more of just planning, reflection,
Mm.
improvement. In terms of just making sure that I stay sane, I hit the gym. Like that's for sure, and some type of physical activity. So right now I've been just doing a lot of just working with a lot of weights for sure. I actually am building a home gym right now,
Mm.
um, and yeah, I'm really happy with that. How it's going so far.
Nice, a home gym. I don't have that. I really need to get back into that. Okay, so so let's see. What another question we have for you is what keeps you pushing through the hard part of I think that question was shortened a little bit. It seems like oh, sorry. Trying to get that question back. What keeps him pushing through the hard part? I don't know what the other half of that question is, but it seems like what keeps you going, I guess.
What what keeps me pushing? Sorry, could you repeat that again? Who's
Yeah.
this from?
This is from John from California. um, so the question is, what keeps you pushing through the hard part? Meaning, and I think it might have been in context to what we were talking about with studies, perhaps. So, what keeps you
Okay.
pushing through the hard part in your studies?
Hmm. What keeps me pushing the I mean, in general, I think I'd apply this in just life in general, not just my studies, but um, I got to set a goal. I set a first set a goal, and this is what I want to achieve. And these are the steps to take to achieve them, and you just got to do it. That's I think that's about it. Like it's either you want it or you're not. You don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just for me, it's really simple. Yeah,
Yeah. And
haven't
so
really put much thought into that.
yeah, I think, and perhaps I'm reading this question differently, but for me, like I guess working through anything, you just gotta you have to decide if your goals are in alignment to like what you're trying to accomplish, basically. So if you're making a list of things that you're like, okay, these are the things that I'm gonna help myself to get to, this
Mhm.
I think it's just a matter of how bad do you want it, and then that's what's going to help you push through it. I think helping you, like things like journaling for me personally, that's actually what does help me push through sometimes with my studies. When I have a bad day, I like come back home, from well, this was pre-COVID really, but if it was like at university or working on my thesis or things like that, I would make kind of like this journal moment. I used to do this thing called mental Drano, and it's because I would always use this with like the students I taught. And mental Drano was just a good way for me to decompress and not think about anything. And when I did that, I would actually write down in my journal, this is what's affecting me. This is what I need to do in order to push through my studies. So perhaps that's something that a lot of people I think struggle with is trying to just do the work, but essentially you just got to be able to just do it. It shouldn't be too overcomplicated. It's a matter of how much do you want it, and are you going to just push through to get it? Um, y-
Yeah, I think a lot of it is also the way your perspective on. So I think if yeah, it's really about perspective. Knowing what your um, like your overarching goal, like what's your I'd say your dream, right? Your why,
mhm.
really. So you understand what that is, and then you build out a set of steps to accomplish your whatever you need to accomplish. And
Mhm.
then you identify like, okay, these are critical steps that are critical tasks that need to get, done, such as, say, if you want this job, you need to get this degree. And then you identify like, okay, these are critical steps that are critical tasks that need to get done, such as, say, if you want this job, you need to get this degree. And then you identify like, okay, these are critical steps that are critical tasks that need to get done, such as, say, if you want this job, you need to get this and you identify the degree as a critical, very simple critical task, and so you do whatever it takes to get that degree. And then I think, yeah, that's the same. Like I see it as a video game. Um, like you want to achieve X amount level, you do these things that give you experience points to get up there.
I don't know what you mean.
So
I
yeah,
have a Sega shirt on, so. But yeah, so we have about, let's see, we have a few more minutes because I know, Justin, you have to get going. Um, so again, guys, thank you everyone who's been in the chat, who's been waiting, and who's been sending some questions. I really do appreciate it. And again, Justin, thank you for being here and talking with me about these things. One question is from Crash Hermit, who's actually another Study With Me streamer. The question is, what kind of values do you wish to impart on your community?
yeah. What kind of values do I wish to impart on my community? I think number one is to be nice. Like people gotta be nice. Like if you treat people like shit and you can't just get along with people, that's not something somebody that I would like in my community. However, if you've done that a few times, but I tell you not to do that and you learn from it, like I would gladly or happily like have you in the Discord, in the community. So I think really, very simple for me. Just things that really cross my line is just people being rude, and I think just be nice.
Well, and I love that. I think that goes with a lot of what I say. Definitely being kind. It goes a long way. Jenna has a question, and do you think of streaming as a job?
Okay, yeah. I do definitely see streaming as a job. Like um, the way I see this is I'm really think of it as like, hey, your life is like a movie, and there's like a documentary crew like just following you. So what are these things that you're gonna do? You're gonna have to do it. And so I think that's sort of like what I'm doing here. Filming myself study, like quite literally a movie, and um, and I would try to keep it as like, hey, this is. I want to keep this as professional as possible in terms of just like being able to get out like a solid schedule for you guys, notifying you guys if there's any like if I had any like emergencies or anything that has changed. So I think I definitely want to keep it like very professional. Make sure that I just keep it. I don't know. I just learned this a lot from my internship. So a lot of things that I do, I just do it very, very try to do it very professionally.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. We have actually a lot more that came in. Okay, let's double check here. Okay, so will you still do long streams when your studies go back into in person?
Oh, that's a hard question. I mean, that's something that I have to figure out when the time comes. But for now, yeah, I can't give you an answer for that.
Yeah. That one's a little tough
I'm
to
curious.
answer.
Who asked about that?
Um,
Who's this from?
David Weiner, I believe.
David Weiner. Okay, I'm looking at the chats. Are the questions way up there?
Possibly. I don't know.
Okay, I see.
Oh, actually, it's further to the bottom.
Further. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, let's see. Oh, and what genres of music do you like the most? That's from Natalie.
Do I like the most? Oh man. I really like EDM, I've started listening to it like in middle school. And
Nice.
watching just videos of like people playing games and montages. I was like, oh yeah, that is super sick, especially the vocals. They give me chills.
Yeah.
And even to this day, love EDM. So it's gotta be EDM.
And I mean, you play like lo-fi on your live streams. There's a particular outro that you have. It's actually one of my favorite songs now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's the outro for Justin.
Daydream. Oh man,
Yeah.
she's amazing. Yeah, she her voice, it's very gives you that energy really. For me, like when I listen to it, it's work time. It's time to get going. And so I think after listening it so many times and working right after, it sort of pretty much conditioned my brain to like, oh, you hear that song, it's go time.
Yeah, and there's I think I saw uh the response from David. He says a previous study with me person quit because their studies were going back to in person. That's why he asked. So because it's perhaps a very common idea that's being thrown out there with people starting to, in some areas, perhaps go back in person.
Okay,
Um,
well, I have a question for you. Was it David that asked?
David,
Um,
yeah.
So, I mean, what if my studies were to go back to in person, chances are yours will go back to in person too. So then my question would be, would you have time to watch study with me streams?
It's a good question. And oh, Jenna actually has another question for you, and it's favorite moment on the stream so far. And I think we'll end with that question, but definitely favorite moment on the stream so far.
Favorite moment? Oh man, this got to be the birthday stream. That was one of the craziest things that ever happened. I think ever since I was young, I was like, wait, that's so cool. People are getting gifts over the internet and they're like unboxing it. Sick. And this is from people sending it to them. And I was like, wow, I want to do that. And then that was maybe 5 years ago, right? But
Mm.
fast forward now, wow, I did a massive unboxing um, about a week ago, I think. I can't really remember, but and you guys sent me like crazy gifts. Like that was so sick. Paximus sent me this. What is it called? What is it called? It's a mic
It's
stand,
like
but
a
there's a
boom
like a
arm.
boom mic stand.
Yeah,
Yeah, a boom arm. That's
yeah.
right. And I've been using it in my streams. I haven't decided where I wanted to place it. But yeah, I'm really grateful for that, and that's really definitely one of my most favorite moments on the stream by
Nice.
far.
Well, hey guys, thank you so much for spending some time with us. I know Justin actually does need to get going. Justin, I truly want to say thank you so much. I really hope that maybe even in the future we'll have a chance to collaborate or to have another discussion on a podcast or something like that on other topics. But seriously, thank you so much for taking some time to do this. I really do appreciate it, and it's just great to get to know you.
All right, thank you so much, Paximus. You know what? I love the community here that you have. I love the energy here, and man, the your design for this entire like video setup that's a lot of energy to it. So
Mm,
I really that's man, props to you. This is really amazing setup. Yeah, thank you so much for hosting
yeah.
and for asking amazing questions and just setting all this up. Thank
Yeah,
you.
definitely. All right, guys. Well, we do need to wrap up, but I think some of you now know what time it is. Um, I'm just like I said, I'm super grateful for Justin for you taking the time to do this, and hopefully in the future, I don't know when, but hopefully in the future we'll be able to do something like this, or even tag videos and stuff like that. But hey, guys, for those of you who don't know, Justin's information is in the description below. His Discord, which is a unique and wonderful community to be part of. Definitely go check out Justin's YouTube channel at Just JUSTXN, so JUSTXN. And I'm super grateful that you guys took the time to be here and to just be part of our community, be part of our chat. Hopefully, we'll be able to do this sometime real soon. But until next time, remember, be kind and rewind. Have a good one. Hadouken!